Hello vinyl community, this is Michael and I'm speaking to you from my home in Japan, and I'm responding to a challenge to poetry on plastic. Actually it's a contest, and he's reached 10,000 subscribers, which is no small feat. So for that, I think that's great and I give you congratulations. And so Poetry on Plastic has come up with some questions, and I'm going to do there's 6 of them, and I'll go through this as quickly and as succinctly as I can. First one is show a classical record. If you don't have a classical record, show something with an orchestral arrangement. Well, I have a classical record. It is Ride of the Valkyries. It is Leonard Bernstein conducting the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, and it's a Japanese pressing. A little old, something that we picked up at an exchange shop in Japan. It's kind of like a charity shop, except that they're free. So people bring goods that they no longer need, and you bring your goods and you take goods away, and typically there's no restrictions, and I pick up a lot of records that way. Next question is, show the heaviest sounding album you can. Well, for me, it is Mott the Hoople's Mad Shadows from 1970, produced by Guy Stevens, and this is their second studio album. I think it's the first Mott the Hoople record I ever bought. It's one of my favorite. My next favorite really is Brain Capers, but if you want to talk dark, last song on this record is called When My Mind's Gone, and it is a 6¼ minute with Ian Hunter on piano just by himself in the studio, and the lights are off, and he was kind of egged on by Guy Stevens, and it's a song about going mad. It's a very dark album. They toured it in the U.S. It was an unsuccessful tour because the album was dark. Mott the Hoople inspired a lot of punk artists. They inspired the Clash, Mick Jones of the Clash, Thunderbuck Ram, No Wheels to Ride, Walking with a Mountain. My favorite song on this record is I Can Feel. So that's my darkest record. Show an artist or a group that got you into primarily because of vinyl record collecting. I'm sorry, show an artist or group you got into primarily because of vinyl record collecting. Okay, that is T-Bone Walker. And the reason why it's T-Bone Walker is it took me a good year to teach myself about audio and sound. I didn't know anything. I mean, audio for me was something that the AV kids did in high school. And it wasn't until I came to Japan and I actually started to go to some shops and I saw the incredible equipment here. And because I was a foreigner and you know, I used the help of my wife, I had to teach myself. And so, make a long story short, when I finally really understood that a vinyl record is something that is variable, the playback is variable, and that if you get your speakers to a point and you arrange them in a room and do your room treatments and get the right cartridge, you can have a big effect on the sound of that music. And it was at that moment that I had the epiphany that I started to pay attention to guys like this, the sound engineer. For me, they began the first important people behind a record, and I started to get a real understanding of what that was all about. And so anyway, that's my answer there. Show a foreign and or non-English record, bonus points for an import pressing. Okay, home court advantage, I get the cheat. Okay, Shinji Tanimura. And I've actually included a link to all these records I'm showing today, all this music I'm talking about today. Here's Shinji Tanimura in the 80s, okay? He's got that real rock star look to him, you know? Kind of did a rock and roll record. But really, Shinji Tanimura is a folk singer. And one of his famous songs is Subaru. You know, it's a song that's sung at weddings and at Bonenkai, end of the year parties, and when people get drunk. So when you see the link that I provided to Subaru, you'll see what he looks like today. And just remember that face, because this record I picked up at a charity shop here. I'm trying to sell it. I can't even sell it for 500 yen. Nobody wants this record. Show a CD, tape, or digital download of an album that needs to be pressed on vinyl. Al Cooper, live at the Record Factory in Sausalito. This is from his Naked Songs period. Al covers Sam Stone by John Pride. If you listen to this record, it's gold. Okay, letter to the editor. Pick one of my musical or gear takes to editorialize on. Take an artist I like, a record I showed, a piece of gear, etc., etc. Everybody gets an opinion. Just be cordial. Okay. So, dear editor, I understand that you review Japanese recording artists in some of your YouTube videos, and I'm humbly responding back to you with a suggestion. I'd be pleased if you gave a listen to someone I feel is the most powerful Japanese female singers to have ever recorded songs in her lifetime. That's Miwa Yoshida of Dreams Come True. And what I'm showing you here is, and I've included a link, it's to one of her special songs from 1997. So strong that Dreams Come True went to the States and performed this album at the Fillmore in San Francisco, along with many of the other Tier 1 cities. I've also included a link to Miwa and Dreams Come True at one of their New Year's show in Japan. You know, at the end of every year, they have a musical show in Japan, and Dreams Come True is always included. And when you see this concert performance of hers, and you see how powerful and how she commands the crowd, you'll understand why I believe in Miwa so much, and I would like you to hear her. So listen to her power, at least skip through her. And her musical partner, he takes his cues from Philadelphia Soul. So also, I owe you a little bit of an apology. I corrected your pronunciation in another video, and you know, I was out of line. So as a present to you, and I know you like her, I'm including a link to Akiko Yano's Ramen Tabitai, meaning I want to eat ramen. And you know, my wife, she kind of explained to me that I'm a bit of an old fart and I just need to listen to some newer Japanese music, and you know, she's not bad. Every lyric of that song in Japanese is every detail about eating Japanese ramen. Every detail. The pork, the spices. She says it's all about eating, the art of eating ramen. So that's it. You know, I'm guessing because I'm in Japan, I might be the first one submitting. So I got first court mover advantage. Thanks. Bye-bye.